If you run paid ads at a D2C brand, you know that replicating a winner that you spotted in the ad library is going to take weeks to produce and ship, plus a ton of money to recreate from scratch. So we built a workflow on Agent One that allows you to take a winning competitor ad and rebuild it in the same format for your own brand as well. In this video, I'll show you how to do this replication in 3 different formats. There's a product showcase film, there's a Faceless UGC, and there's also a full Character UGC, but you can just follow this workflow for any format that you're replicating. Stick around till the end because I'll tell you exactly how much this cost and how long the whole process took. So I'm doing this for Splash Pops. You can think of it as an emerging brand that does not have the kind of budgets that a big brand like Fleur or Sol de Janeiro would have for testing and running creatives. So I opened Invideo, I started a new project, and I uploaded the brand guide along with some product images. There's standard stuff in the guide, things like the brand DNA, the voice, the ad direction, and so on. The products for Splash Pop are also fairly complicated with an inner and outer packaging, as you can see. So we also included 2 specific sections on bottle architecture and packaging. Now that is not something you would have handy, so what I've done is I've linked this entire document in the description below so you can just take this and recreate it for your brand. But essentially in these sections I've covered things like the shape of the bottle and the packaging in detailed text. And I'm doing this because the agent will then take this text while it is generating shots later on. Doing this ensures 100% product consistency throughout the ad, so I'm repeating, do not skip this part. We also put in a reference brand section, Fleur and Sol de Janeiro, with specific instructions on what to pull from each of them. And now that we have everything locked, let's start recreating the first winning competitor ad. Now I wanted to replicate this product showcase film. So the first thing I did is I told the agent the workflow that I wanted to follow. First, analyze the reference ad. 2, break it down shot by shot. 3, generate a storyboard mapped to my brand. And 4, animate the final clips in seed dance. Then I uploaded the winning competitor ad that I found on Meta. Now this was interesting. The agent watched the ad and it came back with an entire breakdown, 11 seconds, 7 shots. And it basically caught the essence of what makes this ad a winning ad in the first place. And then it told me what to keep and what to swap for Splash Pops. Now this was pretty cool because otherwise I would spend an hour writing this in Notion before I could even start briefing anyone. Then I sent it the product I was making the ad for, along with a few specific things that I wanted in the ad. It came back with a 9-panel storyboard. I went through it, I've made 1 round of changes, and I've locked this in. Then it gave me a full shot list with timestamps, camera movement, frame composition, and then it just started batch generating. Now a quick pro tip here is that once the agent starts batch generating, you can just open Invideo on the phone, walk away from your desk, and approve and review all of these generations on your phone itself during the entire process. Now once the clips were locked, I just put them into Invideo's new feature Slate. I was able to stitch all of my individual clips together with sort of full control on things like the length of the clips, the timing, the audio, just as I would have on any other timeline. And this also means that I never have to leave Invideo even for the edit. Now I ran this same workflow for these other 2 products and the ads were ready to ship. We can now move on to ad number 2, which is the Faceless UGC ad.
This scent is disgustingly good. This is Cloud9 from Splash Pops. Vanilla, cotton candy, marshmallow. But not that fake vanilla. This is warm, creamy, the good kind of sweet. It dries down into this soft musk that just sits on your skin like it belongs there. Lazy Sundays, first dates, literally just existing. This works for all of it. You need Cloud9 from Splash Pops.
Now you've probably seen this format running on Meta quite a bit, where there's sort of no face, it's just a product being used and there's a voiceover, but it's got a really solid hook. Why this works really well is because it creates this bait and switch moment that keeps people hooked. Now for this ad, I am following the same workflow that I followed before. I uploaded the reference and I asked the agent to break it down. It came back with the whole breakdown. And what's cool is that I can see that it's understood there's a negative hook, then there's a product reveal, there's a value cell, and at the end there's a CTA. That is basically the DNA of this winning format and it's just understood it. Then it told me what would work well for Splash Pops. I took most of its recommendations. Now coming to the hook. For UGC ads, the first 3 seconds I think are the most important, so I spent a ton of time trying to get this right. I asked the agent for text box ideas. It came back with 5 different directions, each one with a reason for why it would work really well for the hook. I then iterated on it a few times until this one landed. I really like the "I'm not okay, what is this scent" hook because that just felt closest to Splash Pop's demographic and their vibe. Then I asked for music and VO options. It gave me 3 VO personas each with an accent and pacing direction. It also gave me 3 music directions. I asked the agent to generate all of them so I could just have some options that I could pick from. I decided to lock this one, and now we can move on to animating the shots. Now when I started generating shots in seat downs, as you can see the storyboard's hot pink color was merging weirdly with the reference video's red background, and the output was coming out a little grainy. So I just regenerated the storyboard with a lighter background and that got fixed. Now you could also very specifically ask the agent to not attach the reference video in the prompt while generating. But if you do that, you want to make sure that each shot is explained in a lot of detail in text so that the agent doesn't mess up the action. Now once I logged the shots, I just lined them up on Slate, edited it, and the ad was ready to ship. Now moving on to ad number 3.
This is my secret weapon for smelling like an actual dream every single day. Okay, this is Cloud9 from Splash Pops, and I swear the first time I sprayed this, I literally stopped everything. It smells like vanilla, cotton candy, and soft marshmallow, like that warm, sweet, just out of a dream feeling that wraps around you. But the best part is how it wears on your skin. It's not too sweet, it's not overwhelming, it just melts into you. I've had people lean in for a hug and go, "Wait, why do you smell like heaven?" And honestly, that's the best compliment. If you love sweet, dreamy scents, but you still want something that feels grown and wearable every day, Cloud9 just hits. I'm obsessed. Sweet dreams in a bottle? Thank me later.
Now this one's the most complex one of the 3 because it's a full character UGC ad. There's A-roll of the character talking on screen, there's B-roll product shots, there's a green screen composite where the character appears against a stylized background and so on. Now on the process, we upload the brand guide, we attach the reference video, we lock the storyboard, and we generated the shots. I'm not going into a lot of depth here because it's similar to the workflows we followed for the previous 2 ads. What was different here was the structure of the ad itself. As you saw before, the reference video was 40 seconds long, but Seatdance caps generations at 15 seconds. So I asked the agent to break down the reference video into 4 segments. There's the A-roll, the B-roll, the composite, and the hook. Each of these segments was generated separately, and then I just stitched them together at the end. Now the most complex part here was the hook. The references hook was a specific physical action where the character is reaching down to pick up the product from a bag. To replicate this, I generated the exact shot as an image first, and then I asked Seatdance to animate that specific action. The agent already had the character sheet and product locked earlier, so it was just able to generate this hook really well. So whenever a hook is built around a physical action that's fairly complicated to describe in text, what I would recommend doing is generating the keyframe first. The keyframe is basically an image of the first shot with the character at the location just before they're going to do the action, and then once this is locked, you can animate from there. Finally, coming to the numbers. Across all the 3 ads that we generated, we created about 24 images and 62 video gens, including the ones that we rejected, which comes to about 890 credits, which is roughly $225 in total. That's about $75 per creative, and we spent about 1 hour creating each ad. Compare that to $300 to $600 per creator on Incense or below, a 2-week turnaround and multiple iterations to get it to the place that you actually want it to be. Or shooting films in-house and waiting for weeks on the edit. If you're shipping creatives at the volume that Meta and TikTok actually need you to, this is the only workflow that's going to help you get there without actually burning out your team. Now you can't predict which creative is going to win, which is why this video broke down 3 completely different ad formats. In the old world, you'd have to guess which one's going to win and then just ship that. But now with this workflow, you can ship all of these in parallel and just scale the one that actually performs. If you want more workflows like this, I've created an entire playlist on AI agents for ads, so you can just go check that out. If you found this useful, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.